There was a time when I could stay up for 4, even 5 days easily without experiencing any hallucinations. Now, those times, I just want to be clear, those times when I stayed up for that long, they weren't like that was not a regular occurrence. Um, but it happened. It happened with a level of frequency that I think is unbecoming of most people. Like, most people would not be able to say that they've had so many experiences like that they literally can't count. But it's way more frequent for me, as in it happens like at least once a week, to go a day or 2 days without sleeping. That's pretty normal for me. Um, and it's been like this like my whole life. But like I could literally take drugs that would induce hallucinations after like 24 hours of not sleeping. I could be on them for 3 days, a couple years ago. I could be on them for 3 days awake. Nothing. No hallucinations or anything. It's by the 3 day mark, I would just feel depressed and then I'd be ready to go to sleep because I was partying too hard and then it would all come to hit me. But now, like, it doesn't matter what's in my body, you know? I'm way too scared to consume anything this way now, in this kind of reckless way, because, psychosis is terrifying. But um, I can be awake for just 24 hours, like stuck awake, and then I'll start hallucinating. Like, I'll hallucinate dead ferrets in my room, and I'll see this radio static and these spiders that aren't there, and um, seems to be, spiders somewhat often. That's like a thing that happens to me. So I see spiders. I just like I don't know what happened. There's this sense of decline. I think like everyone has it, like, but they have it for certain things. Like, a lot of people tend to feel a sense of decline about their relationships or about like their physical health, really basic things that are going to be kind of all encompassing that you have to interface with every single day. You can't really avoid. But when I complain about things that have degraded in quality or changed, I'm complaining about the fact that I easily slip into psychosis when, I just haven't gotten a little rest, like it's it's almost comical. I I don't think it's sustainable to travel the way that I like to travel through the Greyhound or Amtrak or planes. Um, I think I need to start like making my resources more thin, stretching them out, and I need to do more DIY ways of traveling, like hitchhiking and freight hopping. Um, I think I need to be doing these things if I'm gonna be able to get from place to place. Especially like, if I could freight hop just to, you know, a town that has a Greyhound terminal in it, That would already be better. That would be a step up from where I'm at here. Every time I've had to get to the Greyhound bus stop or um, the airport, I've had to travel 2 hours or over an hour just because there's nothing that services here. It's like a dead zone. But there's train tracks. There's fucking train tracks. And and so I really have to wonder, why don't I just scurry my way down those tracks into the train yard and just hop on? It's a free ride after all. Like, what's stopping me? Um, but I think this kind of traveling. And wait, by the way, I just want to say, because there's never any Lyft, almost never any Lyft drivers that service this area. There's like two in town. Um, Lyfts are always really expensive because of scarcity. Scarcity causes the app to algorithmically jack prices up. And so if you're trying to get to the, closest bus terminal, you could be paying anywhere between 88 and $150, like sometimes more than that. Like I've had to pay $300 on a lift before to get to the fucking airport. Like, can you imagine that? And I'm looking back at this now, feeling like that was like wasted money. Because imagine if if I just asked around, posed as like a journalist or a college student. I mean, there's colleges here. I could do that. If I'm clean enough, I look like one. I'm definitely young enough. Pose as a college student, ask around either people who work at the yard or just ask fucking like drifters that are in town. My dad knows all of them. Just ask them like, where is it going? Where in what direction is it going? If I know the basic direction where it's at, even if I don't get to a place that has a bus terminal, I can get to a place, I'm sure I can get to a place that is close to a bus terminal. And then from there, all I need is my own 2 feet. I could just fucking walk, you know? I could just fucking walk to the bus terminal. And, I could take the bus somewhere more in the direction of wherever I want to go, depending on what the travel plan is looking like. Maybe get to another train yard and take that for as long as I can, just trying to get in the direction, you know? Like, it, there are ways around this country if you don't want to spend money. Like, I have money, not much, but I mean, I have it, but like, even if I had a lot, I'm at a point now where I think it's just naive to spend it when you don't truly need to. Imagine like if I just put in that extra effort, those extra days um planning for this and getting myself set up. I had like a fucking military extraction type bag with me. I went to the war room prior to heading out. Like, I could save so much money just on like basic cab fare and stuff if I did that. Why am I not doing that? You know? Um, and with as far as I like to travel, with as much as I like to travel, drifting from the couches of my internet friends and um, city camping and whatnot, like why like why am I not doing this in more of a proficient and efficient way? What's stopping me? Like there's literally nothing stopping me. I think I just hadn't given it the enough thought prior to this. There's ways around. You just have to put in the effort. Like, if you want any of this stuff enough, it'll come to you. You'll get it. You just have to try. But that's the cost of freedom. Like, this country is so big. I don't think I, until this year, truly had a sense for how massive this country is in terms of size. Spanning across 4 different time zones, um, it's nuts. It's nuts how big this country is. I think because I had been to states that were, predominantly made of cornfields and wheat fields, like endless Kansas, and also the South, which is mostly the same, but there's like parts of the South that kind of have their own appeal and stuff going on, like Jackson, Mississippi. I like Birmingham, Alabama. Um, there's like some little spots in not Little Rock, but there's some little spots in Arkansas that I like. Um, and same with Georgia actually. I hate the kind of South Carolina is wonderful. I love South Carolina for a southern state. Let's not mince words here, but um, now there's little spots that are cool, but my big problem with the South is primarily an infrastructure problem. Like, I hate Amerimont roads. I hate Amerimont lawns and hedges. Like, I don't want to see just endless suburbia and roads and wheat fields. There is more than meets the eye if you actually like explore and look. This is the thing, is that you have to walk every inch in order to find the parts that are worth walking to, that are cool. But like when you find them, it feels like it feels like such a euphoric realization. Like, it's like you were just shown a secret that you and only a few other people are in on. I think this country is filled with little secrets like that. And as nice as those destinations may be, when you turn over enough stones to find that piece of treasure, at the same time, it's not really about the destination, is it? It's not really about those hidden gems you find. It's about the journey there. I could be making the journey way the fuck more interesting, you know? Um, I hate the idea of borders. I really do. The idea that I cannot just walk to whatever country I want to walk to with no documentation, no, like, necessary prerequisites to entering without being detained. I hate this so much. I hate this system. I think it's like a fundamentally evil way of organizing society. Like, it's an affront to human life. We were made to travel. We were made to use our 2 feet to go migrate, to go where we want. And that's part of why I like the free movement of the EU so much, is because you don't really have to deal with the border checkpoint stuff as much there. You just kind of, if I lived in Czechia or Germany or something, I could just walk to Dotsmite in Estonia. I mean, that's a long ass walk. That's like several weeks or something, but I could, like, it's possible because I'd be an EU citizen. Um, in the United States, it's like, obviously there's not anywhere near as much variety or culture as there is in Europe, because Europe has been around for thousands of years. There's been quite a lot of time for culture to build up. Um, it is a massive swath of territory. no, nonetheless, like there's a lot here. There's a lot of things to go see and do and be at, you know? Like that can't be taken for granted, I think. But I think I did take it for granted. Even though I'd been from as the most northeastern point of the country to the West Coast in the same year, and I lived in so many different states that year. I still didn't truly appreciate like the how massive this country is. Um, I traveled on a Greyhound bus, a series of Greyhound bus tickets from northern Maine to Las Vegas, Nevada. I traveled on an Amtrak all the way to Missouri from there after. Like, that's a lot of the country to see. Um, but I didn't know. I saw Ohio, I saw Pennsylvania, I saw Indiana, right above Kentucky and Tennessee, and I thought, this is all the same. It's all exactly the same as where I was. Nebraska's not that much different when you keep going. Kansas I had been through, it's like, this isn't that much different. I had this sense that, like, all of it kind of blended together. It wasn't real almost. I had been to New York City. I knew New York City was pretty different. That was a hugely different vibe. Been on the sub and so on. I liked New England. You go up further, I really liked New England a lot. And that felt different. I knew that was kind of a different thing. And I'd find myself going to the desert. I guess I lived in the desert when I lived in that trailer park in Oklahoma prior to that, but I went further into the desert, further west. And those were things that stood out. Like, it's not like literally all of it blended together, but so much of it blended together that I lost the sense for where I even was half the time. I thought this country just fucking sucks if this is so much of what it is. But I think, like, if I really took the time to get out of that bus more, um, or whatever means by which I was getting from point A to point B, take those detours down the alley or what have you, like, just get lost for a while and actually strike up a conversation with some of the people I could encounter on the way. Like, I think I could have learned so much about what this country is and what the people are like, depending on where you go. Now, actually talking to some of these people has taught me so much about the different regions of this country. Now, some of my favorite people to talk to as well are people who like to travel. When I'm at especially like a really dingy bus terminal or a port, like, it, you come across some of these guys, like, I don't know how else to put it other than, like, they're packed, like they're going on a, a war mission, like they're in the military or something. Um, they're prepared. They come prepared. You talk to them about all the places that they've been and the things that they've seen. It's some of it, like, it's kind of remarkable. And I look at, like, the 20 years, almost 21 years I've had on this planet, the places that I've been to, and the couple remarkable experiences I've had on that journey to those places, it's like they're so remarkable that it almost feels like it's too much. And yet, I can't help but find myself, wanting to find more and wanting to hear about more. I just, I just, want to take my 2 feet and go. I just want to go. I want to migrate with the crows, I guess. I think that this is like the fact that I was a literal agoraphobe for, quite a while. Like a real agoraphobe. I was a hikikomori. I was stuck in my room. Like, I think this played a huge role in my romanticization of travel and like why I get so much out of it, why I enjoy it so much. But also, like, even before I developed like crippling social anxiety and anxiety about being outside, I was just kind of forced to stay inside for a lot of my childhood by my parents. I mean, the times that I could be outside, I liked to explore and I liked to get lost, but it was really ingrained into my head that you have to be afraid of everything, that like there's danger lurking at all corners of the earth, and as such, you shouldn't be allowed to freely explore it. That was really drilled into my head. So, even when they weren't forcing me to stay inside the house, I would voluntarily imprison myself, essentially. I spent so much time inside the house that by the time I became an adult, I just wanted to walk around and get lost and go wherever and do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I think like that longing, or rather like that, the absence of the kind of freedom that I think I should have had as a child, and really every child should have, um, it caused me to develop this, whatever this is, like this romantic relationship with travel, where it's almost like now as an adult I'm overcompensating for what I didn't have growing up. Um, I think that's interesting. I don't know. Who can say? Um, I've been watching these videos of this guy Prod Fulcrum. He literally just goes into stores and gets ridiculously faded. He hits the Benjamin, and I think the goal of his videos is to get thrown out of the stores that he's filming in. Every video it's just that, and he repeats like the same four phrases over and over in every video. I don't know what this guy's deal is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But he's outside. He's doing things outside. Now, when I was younger, like, I developed a lot of very sedentary hobbies because obviously, when you're inside and you're not socially interacting very much at the same time that you're stuck inside, you only really have your imagination to go off of, and like whatever books or games or media that you have. Um, so I got really into making art and consuming art and playing around in my imagination. That was like my whole childhood was just doing that. And now I still do those things. Like pretty much all of my hobbies besides travel and like nature shit. This is all, very sedentary indoors type stuff. And so I can still do it. It's like, it's not a matter of getting bored. It's not a matter of not having activities. It's more so a matter of just like wanting better activities. Um, Being more enticed by being in the outside world, just breathing the air, like literally just being out there. It's like a euphoria experience for me. Um, this is something that has caused some surprise in friends that I've met from the internet who I've stayed at their house. They come to find that I spend most of my time outside. Even if I'm just reading, even if I'm just on my phone, I want to do it outside. And they're always so surprised because the subject of my videos for years was how I felt like I was trapped in my room and never went outside. But then it became so opposite to that um, I think people who built their image of me around my isolation, it comes to shock them when they see like the person I've developed into. And we really do be out here in Flanders fields.